Hey guys, it's Main here, back again with another account review. This is the first account review I'm actually doing in my new house. So first of all, I just want to say apologies if you guys hear an echo. The walls are not fully fleshed out with decor, so there's not a lot to absorb my voice. But I moved into a house. That's where I've been the past few weeks, trying to sign all the paperwork. Fortunately, the only times I was able to go into some of the offices in the HOA has been during the week, during the weekend, and also this past few weeks was my wedding anniversary. I've technically been married for over a year. Our actual ceremony was August 31st, so I was out for my wedding then. October 11th is my actual wedding anniversary, legal wedding anniversary. So anyways, we've been married for a while, so if you ever heard me say my wife during my stream prior to August 31st, that's why I've kind of been used to it for over a year now. Anyways, so we were celebrating our anniversary. We were also getting settled into our new house, so I haven't been able to stream. So anyways, I'm doing some account reviews so you guys have some content like always while I'm not streaming, and hopefully World 7 will come around the corner sometime soon, but also upcoming weeks I'll also be out doing other stuff. One of my uncles, cousin uncles, I don't know, he's older than me. I don't know what the exact relationship is. He recently passed away, so I'm going to be going to his funeral relatively soon. So upcoming weeks are very busy for me. A lot of personal events happening. Unfortunately, I'm not able to stream for, but I'd rather be with family, truthfully, than be streaming. So hopefully you guys understand. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump into some account reviews. Today we have TheRealDPerks. I know this account hasn't been updated in over a month. I think it's still fine. I mean, a lot of the end game grinds and goals that people go through right now are very stagnant. I mean, there's not really much that's changed in the meta in the past few months. Now that World 7's been in development for a while, people are kind of prepping. I mean, nothing's really changed in the prep meta. The only thing I can think of is at the time of me recording, the next shrine ballot's probably going to be Shrine EXP. New ballot bonus is probably going to be Shrine EXP. I really hope it is, because that would help people with their shrine levels. And to prep for that, my obvious real recommendation for you is to focus on trying to get your shrine levels to be higher, DPerks. The best way to do that obviously is to make sure your shrines are placed into the world where the majority of your characters are. So for example, if I go to your characters right now and I go to their activity, I see people doing gloomy, wisdom, bravery, lantern spirits, justice. So a lot of these people are in the hole. That's world 5. So you'd put your shrines in the world 5 town. You would have your characters equipped and stacked up with golden cheese, which I see you have 100k stack, 100k, 200k, 100k, 100k, blah, blah, blah. So you have a lot of golden cheese. You're doing a great thing, stacking them across your characters so that you can get that bonus, the increased shrine exp. So this will multiply with that shrine ballot bonus. So all the exp you would be getting with all the golden cheese in your characters, you can get that multiplied with the shrine ballot. So if that comes in rotation, you really want to start focusing on that, and you want to be a little bit more active if that shrine ballot comes around. So I would actively consider probably doing some AC arcane cultist form farming on specific mobs to get their AFK gains or drop rate up, or if you need fractal island hours for 40k fractal island hours for the stealth for the world 6 bonus there, you could do that as well with your candy. Or what I'm doing and what some people are considering doing is actually just staying on arcane cultist, trying to get the AFK crystal up for Gmush so you get more money percent. You could also do this for, I guess, clammies, for example. If you want to get perlo shells, you can try to get the AFK gains up there, the drop rate up there, and use your time candy to progress, trying to get the perlo shells, so you can use the time candy there, put the shrines in the map, or rather in the world that you're doing that in. So if you're doing Gmush candying, put it in the world 1 town or in the Gmush map. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Or if you're doing clammy candying, you could put that into the world 4 town or in the clammies map. Or if you're doing fractal island, you put the shrines in the world 2 map town, or into the fractal island itself, and then use the candy. So that's, optimal ways to use the candy, optimal ways to use that shrine ballot. You want to progress towards some goal. The reason people do Gmush a lot is because of the lab node fungi finger pocketer. This lab node right here, if I pull over to it, this one right here, it gives extra cash. This is a huge cash multiplier. It's one of the biggest cash multis in the game. So for every 1 million kills of Gmush that you have, you get a ton of extra cash multi. And this is increased by, I believe, one of these jewels right here. The Emerald Robble gives you an extra 1.6% cash bonus. And I believe on top of that, the purple opal navette will increase that even further. From all active bonuses and jewels to the mainframe will multiply the fungi finger pocketer even more, so you get even more cash multi. So that's kind of what endgamers are prepping for, using Gmush as an example. Or if you want to get more drop rate food, getting more golden cakes, like I mentioned, you can go to Clambies, get the AFK gain up on your Arcane Cultist before you use the candy. Or if you don't want to do AC farming, and as I mentioned, you could do Fractal Island instead. So what would I recommend for you? Honestly, if I'm trying to stick to a specific thing, my recommendation is probably Fractal Island, just to get to the 40,000. It's obviously you're going to need to farm up another 38,000 hours of candy. So you're almost there. So you can actually kind of realistically do this, is use all of your candy on the Nothing Island. Make sure your shrines are in the World Suit Town or in the map for Fractal Island, and then use all of that on the character. Also, quick piece of advice is make sure that when you're candying on a character, you don't need golden cheese on your other characters, because you're going to be using all of your candy on the one character. You won't be splitting it across all characters. So what you could do is you could take the golden cheese that you've split across these characters, like the 200k, 100k, 100k, take it all off of those characters, move it temporarily onto the character you're using candy on, so you get a little bit extra gold cheese effect. My biggest recommendation is to do this on... So I guess split piece of advice. If you want to focus on Shrine EXP, do this on either Deathbringer or DK. The reason being is because they specifically have more gold food effect than your other characters. DK and your Deathbringer, they have a talent in the warrior tab, specifically the hungry for gold, or however you pronounce that. It's spelled weirdly. Gives you more gold food effect, but also the cauldron here, because of the warrior's rule bubble, increasing the effect of smaller size bubbles for your warrior classes, it will increase the effect of Shimmeron, which is gold food effect, which means you get more golden cheese effect on this character. Also, if you're doing Gmush or you're doing Clammies, you would only do that on a DK or Deathbringer because of this same thing, the gold food effect here, because of golden dumplings increasing your AFK time on that character. So if you're using candy, no matter what it is, I would highly recommend doing it on the DB or DK because of that increased gold food effect you would have, especially if you're doing it on mobs because of the increase of AFK gains. So you can get more Gmush kills than you would, or you can get more clammy kills. Now, specifically for Gmush, I would not do it on DK. I would do it on Deathbringer. Specifically, if you have 2 Deathbringers, I would do it on your highest level Deathbringer, because even more nuanced mechanic is the Family Guy talent. This specifically affects your highest level character of the class that you're on, and increases the family talent bonus. Now, okay, hold on. That was very confusing. That was a very poorly worded explanation of what that actually does. So if you have one Deathbringer, you don't need to worry too much about this, but just know that Deathbringer's family talent is kill per kill. Okay. So just by having a Deathbringer, you have overall on all characters increased kill per kill. However, what the Family Man talent does, what the Family Guy talent does, is it increases the family bonuses that character gives while you're on that character. So, for example, Deathbringer has kill per kill. If you have the Family Guy talent, you only have one Deathbringer, it'll increase the kill per kill that character provides to that specific character. It doesn't increase the bonus of other characters' family talent bonuses. It only increases for your specific character that you're on, for the talent that it provides. I do also want to note that if you have 2 or if you have more than one of a specific class, say you have 2 elemental sorcerers, or you have 2 arcane cultists, or you have 2 Deathbringers, this Family Guy talent only works for your highest level character while you're on that character. So if I have, for example, my 2 Deathbringers here, a level 710 and a level 658, the Family Guy talent will not work for this level 658 Deathbringer. It only works for this level 710 Deathbringer. So if I'm going to candy Gmush, I'm going to do it on this first Deathbringer for me because of the higher kill per kill bonus that this character has. And sorry, I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But ZZMNAEZXC, don't ask me why my character's named this. I just like threw my head against the keyboard. Anyways, this character is the one I want to do candying on because he has a higher kill per kill than the other Deathbringer, simply because he's lower level, and the Family Guy talent will not work on him because he's lower level. So the higher level will take priority here. That's why if you notice you have 2 elemental sorcerers, your talent levels typically are higher than your other characters, but for the lower elemental sorcerer, your talent levels are the same for the other characters. That's because the elemental sorcerer's family bonus is plus minimum talent levels. And while you have the Family Guy talent spec'd in and you're the highest level ES, you will get more talent levels than your other characters are getting from your family bonus. So, quick little tidbit of advice. So all in all, yes, let's go throw the good old MS Paint. So let's say shrine ballot, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna, this is a shrine, right? Just pretend this is a shrine. That's an up arrow, whatever. So you have 3 pieces of logic. One, you want to do fractal, okay? Fractal does not really matter what character you want to do this on. Sorry, let me go back and say warrior class. You want to try and do this on a warrior class. However, if you want to try to get the nothing trophy, I'd recommend doing this on V-Man, because V-Man has a talent here called the reroll, reroll please. If you don't get the Master of Nothing trophy and you get the reroll option, you can reroll to try to get the nothing trophy. Up to you if you want to do that. Also, rerolling also gives you worship charge. So if you want to do that, I think it also, this actually may or may not be true. I can't remember from my testing if this was true. I don't believe it is, but it might give you more anvil production. So if you were to produce like 100 million thread in 1 hour and you reroll, supposedly it's supposed to give you 200 mil, but I don't believe it worked for me. So I don't know what the true mechanic of that is. Anyways, so if you want the nothing trophy, you can do this on V-Man. If you want strictly shrine EXP, if you already have the nothing trophy, for example, do this on Deathbringer or do this on DK. Okay, so fractal, warrior. Let's say warrior. Or V-Man. Or trophy. Wow, it's almost like I forget that Paint has a text option here. Okay, third option is you could do clammies. And you want to do this on a warrior. Now, why do you not really need to care or distinguish between DK or Deathbringer? That's because it's kill per kill. Kill per kill does not increase the rare drops you would get. So in this case, would not increase the perler shells you get. Just getting 1 trillion kills doesn't increase rare drops at all. Multi-kill doesn't matter here. The only thing that would matter is drop rate and AFK gains, and I guess mob respawn, everything that would go into fighting AFK gains. Kill per kill, just nothing for drops. All it does is increase your kills and portal count. That's all it does. So you don't need to worry about doing this on Deathbringer for the kill per kill. You just need to do it on a warrior class for the increased gold food effect. Now Gmush is the other thing if you want money percent, and this you would have to do on Deathbringer. If you have 2, you're Jesus Christ, highest level. I'm sorry, my penmanship is awful. It's my penmanship, truthfully. Gmush, you do it on Deathbringer. Deathbringer on your highest level Deathbringer because of the Family Guy talent, because of the kill per kill. Clammies, you want to do it on any warrior class. Fractal Island, you want to do it on either warrior if you're just doing shrine levels, or you can do it on V-Man if you want to get the trophy because he has that reroll please talent. So that's the breakdown of how you want to use your candy for the Shrine EXP ballot if it comes out. How to level up your shrines. This is kind of the logic you want to follow. I'm sure there are other ways to use your candy, but these are kind of the top 3 things people look for when Shrine Ballot comes around, or generally if you're trying to look to increase your shrine levels, this is exactly what you want to do. So those are the 3 main activities you could do. Obviously, as well, you can also swap out clammies for moons because you need ghosts to complete the golden cakes recipe. So if you need moons, if you're limited on that, as opposed to the Perlo shells, you can try to go and candy moons. It's a much lower drop rate, so you can get a lot more there. It's, I don't really mention it because clammies have the higher drop rate. They're, the rarer thing to go for. Obviously you don't even need to worry about candying golden hamsters or golden omniches, because you can just active DK crystal farm in World 1 for the omniches and World 5 for the golden hamsters and trimmer worms if you need those, because those are gold food, those are affected by crystal mobs, whatever. But yeah, Perlo shells, ghost, those are the ones you need to candy, and you can do that on your warrior class because of the increased gold food effects through Shimmeron and because of the hungry for gold talent that warriors naturally get. Okay, cool. I don't know how long that rant was. OBS is saying about 15 minutes. I probably estimate about 12 minutes because of the little intro rant, but that's all about shrines. It's kind of everything I'd recommend for you to try to do and what you should aim for. Now, how do you get the rest of the candies that you need for the Fractal Island, for example? My recommendation is obviously trying to focus heavily on using your, what are those things called? Biggie hour spawns. Using your Biggie hour spawns over in World 2, using your DK specifically. I suppose I can show an example of this. I don't know why I got a little southern accent here, but you go over to the Mimics map. Right. Okay. You would, very simple, do your respawn mechanic, drop the orb, and then just, do this over and over again until, the level of the orb, how high level of an orb you get is going to vary depending on what talent level you're at. For me, I can reliably stack the orb up to 700-800 or so. And then what I do is I go ahead and drop my Biggie hour spawns kind of one by one and kill Biggie hours. The reason why you want to stack up the orb is because while the orb is down, it has a high number, it increases the drop rate of mobs you're killing. So that means you get more time candy out of Biggie hours here. You can technically do this for Doot, but Doot doesn't have a mob that spawns in the map. Doot should be affected by DK orb, but there's one single invisible G-mush that spawns every 10 seconds or so. So you can't really stack up the orb to greater than 10, 20 in any realistic terms. So Biggie hours is the only real mob that you can do this for. So if you are looking to increase your candy stack, this is what you must do. And the level of your orb varies greatly depending on your talent level. Varies greatly upon a number of factors. If you have 450 plus talents, you can probably get to 800 orb pretty realistically, or you can try to shoot for 700 orb or 600 orb and still be relatively fine. Now, I do want to also mention you want to get as much drop rate as you can, because the more drop rate you get will guarantee the higher tier of time candy. And along with that, obviously comes the disclaimer: you can also try to AC farm to get the drop rate crystal up a little bit more to increase your drop rate in this map, so you get more time candy out of the mini boss. So I'm approaching 600 orb here. I'll just pause the demonstration. Yes, I know it's inefficient. People are going to yell at me because I'm not doing this properly. Whatever. I don't even know where my Biggie hour spawns are. They're somewhere in here. There we go. There's one. I'll drop one. But you'll see I'll pretty much almost guarantee dropping a 12 hour here, I think. I get a 24. So yeah, I can't remember. I think the 24 or the 72 or whatever, they are 24 I think is not guaranteed, but with my drop rate with the orb this high, I can guarantee get a 12 hour at least. I think a 72 is a 1 to 7%, 24 at 800 orbs a 30% chance or something. So you can every single day you can get 4 Biggie hours. That's 4 times 12 plus 4 times 4 plus 4 times 2 plus 4 times 1. That's how many guaranteed candy hours, and then I get a variable amount of 24 and a variable amount of 72. So I get a ton of time candy out of this. So by those 4 Biggie hours, I can probably net close to 100 hours of time candy every single day. So if I were to if I were to drop the 282 plus these extra bags I have here, plus I don't think I've done this for today, get all of that, I can get a ton of time candy, and I'd highly recommend you kind of do that as well to kind of prep for that. So I don't know how many Biggie hours you've kind of stacked up, how much you kind of prep for, but yeah, that's kind of my advice there. Anyways, back to AC farming here on Gmush. Cool. Okay. Other thing I'd probably recommend is obviously make sure that you have a drop rate class, obol page for your characters before you do anything drop rate related. Also, I'd roll these obols. You see this circle around them. They aren't highlighted. So you need to get +1 drop rate. The magma obol that you get here from Domio Magmus, you can actually roll to +15, I believe it is. Yeah, +15. Obviously, if you have hyper obol, they can roll to +11. If you have a square obol here from the random boss, you can get +9, etc. Make sure to reroll those. Also, for the Kruk obols for the AFK gain, you can reroll those to be +6 AFK gain. The hyper obols you can reroll to +6% all stat, etc. These are the all stat ones are actually pretty good for other purposes. If you're trying to do like Emperor kills, for example, all stat does help a ton with your damage. So these are pretty good like damage obols, for example. But yeah, just make sure to reroll them so you get better effect out of them. Okay, stamps. I mean, honestly, at this stage of the game, when you're like in World 7 prep, I don't even know why I look at the stamp tab anymore. There's nothing really for me to really talk about. If you're looking for advice on another stamp to exalt, if you ever get that, my recommendation is probably drop lots. I see a lot of people talk about drop lots being good because this is a massive increase to your carry capacity. I know it says 287, and you'll probably get like 300 extra carry liquid cap out of this. But consider that the raw carry cap or base carry cap you get gets multiplied by so many other things like bleach cauldrons, dragonic cauldrons, by the viaduct node. Not having the viaduct node, the meal bonuses, the 300 cap you get from the stamp scales into tens of thousands of liquid cap. So this is pretty significant when it comes to things like candy clicking when you need a ton of carry cap. So if candy clicking is something that you do or considering doing, that drop lot stamp is a great one to exalt. Outside of that, Prisma Fragments, I would highly recommend trying to double Statue EXP. The statue multiplier or bonus you get out of this is very, very significant. So this is a great one, an absolute S tier one to Prisma. And I wouldn't wait on holding onto your fragments for any World 7 bubbles. I would straight up just do this one. Also, I would maybe consider doing Shimmeron and also doing Diamond Chef. Diamond Chef is just insanely powerful. Having this double just naturally lets you finish cooking, provided you have fluoride, blood marrow, Diamond Chef doubled. You can naturally just finish cooking without having to rely too much on No Meal Left Behind. Also with World 7 being a pretty big expansion, as far as we know, there's going to be a lot of maps. With that might mean we get a ton more meals than World 6 or World 5 ever brought, which means, we're going to need a lot of cooking speed to be able to get those meals anywhere near like level 100 because of how exponential the speed grows. For each new meal and cooking, you're going to need a ton of meal cooking speed. And right now, your only realistic way of getting that is Diamond Chef, unless World 7 introduces some insane meal cooking speed. But Diamond Chef, I think, is probably a really good one to Prisma and probably a good safe bet. But yeah, Shimmeron, Statue EXP, Diamond Chef, all those ones are pretty, pretty good. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay, seems like you have a lot of arcade balls. I would highly recommend trying to spend your arcade balls to get at least Emperor bonus level 100 and definitely super it. The bonuses that Emperor gives you, as broad as they are so fantastic because they help you progress your master classes so much better. They give you a bunch of stealth, gaming bit gain, drop rate, bits of random drop rate, some like small World 7 bonuses, but all those together for how, if a mechanic broadly scales your account in some way, the bonus is usually good. So Emperor bonus is one of those S tier arcade bonuses. And if you can get it to super and you have the balls to super it, I would highly recommend trying to do so because of how powerful and how broad of it, it impacts your account. Highly recommend trying to do the Emperor ball here. Yeah, buildings are pretty good. If anything, I'd obviously try to equalize your buildings and make sure you're not hard focusing one over the other. Like it's taking you 16 days in a trim slot for Poisonix, 17 here, versus it's taking 0 seconds in a trim slot for Pulse Mage, Fire Lobber, Boulder Roller. Like sure, you aren't ever going to use these towers and you'd probably want to focus on leveling up your shrines or whatever, but remember that the Rift bonus for Construction Mastery gives you build speed based off your total building levels. So not character construction level, but the amount of building levels you've gotten on your characters gives you more build speed. And build speed, as we talked about in a previous account review, gives you specifically more construction EXP and also build rate. So build speed is a very powerful stat you want to get a lot of on your account. One way is through Construction Mastery in the Rift. Other way is power of 10 sheepy kills because of the vault upgrade. And the other way is the carpenter bubble in alchemy, which actually I didn't check if you have prismet or not, which you do. Okay. But yeah, this is build speed. Build speed again is a multiplier to construction EXP, and it is a multiplier to build rate. So this is a fantastic one. Bubble to Prisma if you haven't. I mean, you have, talking to other people, but also big stat to focus on. So getting more sheepy kills, for example. So, I mean, I guess going back to the candy thing, you can also try to get sheepy kills. For those of you that are insane and trying to push your construction to new heights, getting more sheepy kills, power 10 sheepy kills will help you get that. So getting to like 1 trillion sheepy kills might be something people want to aim for, but that, yeah, you can get like 8 billion more sheepy kills and get a little bit more build speed to help you get more of that construction EXP and build rate. Yeah, what was I saying? Going back to the building levels, try to equalize the build speed across your buildings. Try to get them to, roughly the same amount of time to build. So, getting this to like 15 days on a trim slot, this to 15 days, this to 15 days, whatever. Try to get more levels into these buildings so that you can reap the benefits of the construction mastery from Rift. I guess a good stretch goal before you hit World 7 is try to get closer to that top 1%, try to get more tome points, so getting more skill levels. So again, focusing on construction, using atoms on Call Me Bob, trying to find more trophies wherever you can. If you haven't booked and maxed your character's talents, you could do that. Candy clicking is a great way. I mean, bubble levels are a great way to make sure you get into 1% because of how much tome points that bubbles give you. That's a great way to get up to 1%, but also just, know that more tome points gives you more damage, more skill efficiency, more drop rate, more of your stats, for example. So, focusing on tome points is a great thing to focus on if you want to just, flesh out your account because of, what tome provides you. Okay, divinity. I mean, minimum overall divinity level and big P level, it's looking good. No, like a big thing to focus on there. You're hitting the purple bits. That's good. Your nugget's only 7 mil. If you want a stretch goal of before you hit World 7, trying to hit like 1 billion nugget is what people try to aim for. So being a little bit more active in World 5 town, trying to do more active gaming to get that 1 billion nugget is how you do it. Abusing metal detector, that Equinox upgrade, try to get more golden nuggets found. It's going to take probably days of, active time. If you split it across multiple days, you can probably get to 1 billion. Honestly, probably in a few weeks, definitely in time before World 7. Say you do like 1 hour of gaming, like hardcore gaming sessions a day for like a month, you will guarantee get like 1 billion nugget. It's just, it just comes down to your mental fortitude of sitting there and clicking on harvest all over and over again, clicking on a chemical, clicking on the shovel, clicking harvest all, clicking on chemical, clicking on shovel, harvest all for like an hour straight. That's the big issue it comes down to. So if you don't get 1 billion nugget, it's not the end of the world. It's just, a good stretch goal if you want to try to help prep for gaming, because gaming is getting an expansion, at least we know. And, along the same vein, talking about gaming, putting more points in gaming bit gains. Obviously, you can always put more points in mining efficiency, but getting more hours into bravery, trying to get to 100K at the very least, because it'll make bravery multi a little bit more consistent so that you can get more, of these bravery specific bonuses across your account. Also, when it comes to justice, get to 24K hours. This is a must, absolute must. This is number one priority for your account right now, getting to 24K hours in justice, because that unlocks the +2 mental and dismissal, which means that your justice runs get a little bit more consistent. You can push those higher waves. You can find justice bonus multi a bit more. You can level up your characters more because you can start focusing on class EXP. If you want to prep, because it's likely sailing is going to get some sort of expansion, get more artifact find chance, so you can get more artifacts or more tier of artifacts if those are introduced. Wisdom, honestly, 10K is really all you need to aim for. That's it. And then when it comes to slab, highly recommend. Obviously, I guess you haven't completed this quest. This is World 6. You should be able to complete this. This is fairly simple. Just go to, I can't remember the guy's name. He's like in the Rice Cakes map. You get this chest from him. I don't know if you've had this chest expansion or not, but make sure you have this unlocked. So when you get it, turn in the quest, go talk to, go look at the slab guy, make sure it registers, etc. Also, you have some party dungeon stuff I see that you can do. You have some quest items. You have I mean, you have the Blunder Hero trophy, you have the Critter Baron trophy, you have Sheriff. I don't blame you for Megalodon, but you have the Frost Prince trophy. This is a little bit painful, but you can definitely do this. Idle Skiller, highly recommend it. Very boring game, very long amount of time commitment, but yes, I'd highly recommend it. The Gladiator trophy, this is very easy. It should be very easy for you to complete. Highly recommend doing that. The Heroic Spirit, this is a World 6 quest line. Please try to get this. This is an amazing trophy. This is like a best in slot trophy for like a lot of stuff, so highly recommend trying to get this if you haven't already. And then outside of this, I see one or two other things. You don't have the Dice Dynamo trophy. This is actually a very easy trophy to get if you play on Bubo, provided you have greater than 200 talents. This actually should come fairly easy. Just takes a little bit of time. So all you need to do is put 1 point here into this. Right, and then you just keep it in your hotbar, and then whenever you kill a mob, it'll decrease the cooldown of the dice because it counts as an active skill. So whenever you kill a mob, reduces the cooldown, and then voila, you get to use it. Eventually, there you go, and then you just try to hope and pray you get it. So why not go for it? Wish you the best of luck. It'll just take some time. Just make sure to look back at your inventory. That way it doesn't clog it with dice dynamos, because that could happen. Along the same vein, make sure that you have the Sanic Ring one is actually fairly easy to get. It's a star sign that you just need to have active. It's this one right here, Blue Hedgehog. You just make it active, and ooh, God, my inventory is full of these. But that's all you need to do to make it drop, is just have this star sign equipped. That's it. So make sure to do that so you have that chance of dropping it. Also recommend doing it on Bubo, because that's high amount of kills per hour just with the tentacle talent and the respawn mechanic. Cool. Okay, well, I'm going to stop there, DPerks. I gave you a lot to focus on as it comes to shrines. When it comes to, if you want to candy click, just getting those main stat bubbles up, you can do that as well. How to get more time candy, rerolling your obols, stuff to kind of prep for, should you choose to do it, a little bit direction when it comes to your monument hours and stuff like that. So hope you gleaned a little bit of information. For those of you watching, hope you also gleaned a little bit of information. I really hope you vote for the Shrine EXP ballot, please, for the love of God. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.